Hey, what up, YouTube? James Hoff with RERAW. Thank you guys so much. Just been getting a lot of great feedback on these videos, so going to keep doing them. And I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for checking out my content. And I'm always open to feedback. If there's topics or if there's things specifically that you're struggling with, please make sure that you post it in the comments so that I can build content around it. I don't claim to have all the answers, but if I can be kind of an outside voice to help you navigate and maybe think from a different perspective and stuff, that's kind of my hope and my goal through this process. Really quick in this video, I just want to talk about what I've been doing the last couple of days, more on a personal note, but this helps obviously with business as well. I've been handling both my personal and business accounts. With a lot of things obviously changing. This whole coronavirus thing is really evolving by, quite frankly, by the minute. Banks are updating stuff by the hour. Things are changing like so rapidly. And one thing that I would really recommend, regardless of what state you're in, regardless of whether or not your state is on full lockdown or no lockdown at all or a partial lockdown, doesn't matter. I would really advise that you look at the states like California, like the one I'm in, where we're basically a stay-at-home order, right? A shelter in place, if you will. Like, we're not allowed to leave unless we're going to the grocery store, the doctor, or the pharmacy. Or if you work in a critical or essential sector, which real estate agents are not. And I'm so tired of people pretending like they've got that loophole, which whatever, that's a whole other video. Anyway, what I was going to say is, take this opportunity to start reaching out to the banks, any credit card providers you have, if you have car payments. Now listen, I'm not saying that nobody has savings, but what I am saying is, when you don't know how much money you're going to be able to bring in because of how many clients you've lost, or how many clients have pushed their plans back, or how many clients you can't serve at all because real estate's fully shut down maybe. Forgive the background, the kids are out playing with sidewalk chalk. It makes it really challenging to predict what comes next. And I know that the majority of America is living paycheck to paycheck. And I know that the majority of agents out there are trying to, ramp business up. And I know that there's this idea that, when everybody else is slowing down, you got to push down hard on the gas pedal. But, and this is just one man's opinion, but we're in a really weird time right now. And what some people are finding is that marketing harder during a time of total distress and despair in, like, damn near the world, is not serving some people well at all. I did a video on, on providing resource and value to the community, and maybe offering something that literally has nothing to do with real estate at all, but in the long run will probably benefit your real estate business. So check that out. It's probably a suggested video up here, and it'll be at the end of this one as well, but it's probably down in the comments too. So check that out. But what I was going to say is the idea sometimes is to spend more cash when things are going down, but because we're in such unpredictable times and things are kind of weird and strange, while I'm not discouraging that you market harder, I am encouraging you to market differently, and maybe consider, even though I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not here to give you financial or legal advice, I'm just telling you what I've done. I'm just telling you that I think it might be a good idea for you to consider keeping a little bit of extra cash on hand. Over the last couple of days, we've reached out, Aaron and I have reached out to the company that carries our auto loans. We've asked for deferred payments for up to 6 months. I don't know if we'll get it. We've filled out the form to request it. Some auto loan companies and banks are making that an even easier process, where it's just like a few buttons you click through and you're good to go. Some banks are offering increased credit limits. By the way, I would caution you on that, because if you increase your credit limit and you're already maxed out on something, then just be careful, because I don't want you to put yourself in a worse financial space. But if you feel like, hey, I can carry this for a little while, then maybe, consider that if you really need to, if you're kind of cash poor right now. A better option, in my personal opinion, consider seeing if you can get lower interest rates, or even get interest waived completely. On one of my credit cards that Aaron and I carry a bit of a balance on, we actually got them to waive our entire interest rate for the foreseeable future. So basically every month, they said, after the statement posts, I just have to call up and say, hey, can you waive my interest and credit that back, and they'll credit it back toward the statement. And they've also postponed any required payments on that card until further notice. So I just have to connect with them each month and say yes or no, I am or am not in the same position. And if I need another 30 days, then they'll give me another 30 days. They won't add any fees or penalties, and I won't accrue additional finance charges or fees on that particular card. So my point is this. Nobody knows what's going on. And all these people that are like, oh, we have all the answers, they don't. And I don't have all the answers either. But I'm here to share with you some of the things that I'm doing and the experience that I'm going through and the stuff that I think is not only good practices for my business and that's already helping me and already helping other agents, by the way, all over the country. Excuse me. But also things that you can be doing in your personal life to just really keep things in check, because I want you guys to be continuing to push business and to be able to come out of this with like a full pipeline. But I also think one of the best things that you can do is to really make sure you're protecting your dollar, because we don't know how long we're going to be in this. And if you're not in a state that's in complete shutdown, I hope you never get there. Actually, I kind of hope you do, because I think it would be better if we just shut the whole darn thing down and made everybody shelter in place, and everybody actually would follow those rules, and we could get through this faster, which would be really great for all of us, because it seems like the people who are trying to find the loopholes and try to find the loophole to make themselves as an essential part of the workplace are kind of in some ways creating a lot of stuff that's like screwing people over. So I just think that it would be good for you to consider hunkering down. Might be wise for you to hold a little extra cash. So if you can reduce your payments on anything possible, then I would recommend that you do that. It doesn't mean that you have to ease up on your marketing, but take advantage of, if you haven't already done it, contact banks if you're legitimately impacted already, if you've lost deals, because even before the shutdown, I had 2 deals push out, and now they may be gone altogether. So I had 2 deals push out just because of the shutdown, and then I had and then those deals now could be, they could be gone depending on what happens to prices in the market. So I would just encourage you to consider checking out what opportunities are available for you. If you feel like you're in kind of a tight spot, see if you can't get those payments down or get rid of the interest or defer payments on something. Look at your biggest expenses and see if there's a way that you can push those out for a little while, so that if you don't have the same cash flow that you're used to having, you at least have the opportunity to not be bleeding out during this process. What you are going to find from some of the institutions is that they don't have a good answer yet. I would encourage you to propose what you think is the best answer, because about a week ago I had preliminarily called one place and said, hey, what do you think is going to go on? And this is on that card I was mentioning we carry a balance on, and they literally were like, oh, we don't know, pound sand. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that doesn't work for me. And they told me to call back later, a month later. I literally called back 4 days later, and all of a sudden they waived interest, pushed out payment, did all kinds of stuff, right? So my point is when I say this is evolving and changing by the minute, changing by the hour, changing by the day, it's changing super fast. And what applied yesterday may be completely different today. But as things continue to seemingly get worse at the moment with the spread of this thing and how many people are impacted, I would just really, really encourage you to pay attention to the states that are already on lockdown, the people that are already having to change the way they do things. And as somebody who is on lockdown, I would just tell you that what we've decided to do is to try to take control of those finances in a different way by continuing to creatively market and gain followers and gain people who are leveraging the value that I offer or the resources that I can provide to the community and tell people and connect the dots like I mentioned in that previous video. But also on a personal level, to be able to take control of our finances and to hold as much cash as we can right now, by not just putting it out there. If you can afford to, great. But I think for us, it just made a lot more sense to say, hey, look, we don't know what the foreseeable future looks like. We don't know if this is a 2 or 3 week thing, or if this is a 2 or 3 month thing, or a 6 month thing. We have no idea. So until we have more clarity on that, we're trying to push everything out that we can, just for our own long-term financial health and safety. Again, I am not here as a licensed professional to give you financial advice or to give you any kind of legal advice. You need to consult with your own people on that and make your own personal decisions. But I do think it's valid and valuable to at least share what I'm going through, and hopefully for some of you, if nothing else, it gets you thinking and maybe provides some benefit. If you haven't already done so, please join my free texting community. It's 949-216-5448. I'm doing a lot of one-on-one interaction in there, but I'm also able to do announcements when new content like this posts. I can give you tips and tricks and all that great stuff. Don't worry, it's not a group message that like you're texting with everybody that's in the community. It's just between you and me. But it's a great way to stay connected, and it's totally free for you. You just pay whatever phone plan you're on, and whatever you pay for text messages, that's all you pay. So 949-216-5448, and then make sure you crush that subscribe button on the YouTube channel, whether it's over here or over there or wherever you are. Please invite your friends, and let anybody know that you think would benefit from this content. And again, if there's anything that you're struggling with or specific questions you have, feel free to comment in the post below, or in the comments below, so that I can build content around it and then answer your questions, and just help everybody navigate the space. Thank you guys so much for being part of this, and again, for supporting my content. I'm grateful for you. And just remember something: if you want to navigate this and you want to get through it and you want to play the game and ultimately come out ahead, you got to work. Real agents work. Make sure you're one of them. We'll talk to you later.